Hey, welcome everyone to the Stock Option King YouTube channel. Do not mind my voice. I am a little under the weather, but today I want to do the trade review for you guys and show you guys where we entered and where we exited with these two great plays that we had this morning, right? Very, very clean plays. You have to understand one thing about these massive days. These days don't happen every day. These days happen naturally. So today we took a trade on Tesla that ended up paying us, and then we also took a trade on SPX right after that ended up paying us even more. So two clean trades. We made money on the 3700 SPX call options, and then of course our Tesla play that we did also made us money. So two great plays that we ended up taking advantage of very nicely. But let me take you guys over to the charts tab so I can show you where we took these entries and where we exited on these two plays. So let's go over the bigger play first, the ES or the SPX trades. So for charts, we like to use ES because we get to see a little bit of a better price action because it's a little bit more liquid, and then of course we're able to see after hours and pre-market on ES versus SPX only being intraday. So let's go over this ES trade in more detail here. As you can see here, ES for the first 15 minutes just chopped around and kept on rejecting the 50 and the 200 EMA. So when it kept on going down and going back up, we ended up seeing that it wasn't able to break to the downside. So when we saw this big giant candle to the upside, we thought that it could end up getting above the 50 EMA. So we ended up actually entering around the 3700 mark. Let me highlight that for you all so that you can kind of better understand where we entered. So we entered up super early in this trade, which was the big reason why we made a lot of money on this trade. So because ES kind of chopped around a little bit, we got a super good entry, and then of course our first target was the 37.15 that we called out in pre-market, as well as on the live trading call. I was like, it's gonna go right up to 37.15 at least, and I was more confident on this trade than most trades, I would say, because for some reason we kind of knew this was going to go straight up to 37.15. So when it popped first up to 37.10s, some of the people from our trading live trading team took it off, but I ended up holding up to about the 37.15. That's where I took about 30% of it off, and then when it pulled back, I let it ride a little bit more all the way up to about 37.25. That's where I took majority of it off, and then of course I let the rest ride all the way up to about 37.37, and that was our last target, and that's where I took it completely off. And as you can see here, it pulled back and then it continued more so, but still a very great trade. And then of course it ended up actually coming all the way back down as well. So this is why you have to take profit as the stock is moving in your direction. So a very clean 15-point trade from 3700 up to 37.15, and then taking some more off at 37.25, and then of course letting the rest or the very small bit, like it was a very small bit that I let it ride all the way up to about 37.40. But let's go over this option chart as well. So because a lot of people don't understand that these options correlate with the stock very cleanly as well. Look, so around when we entered around the 3700, when the stock was being choppy, we ended up actually taking a long on these options around $20, right? So instead of paying 3700 per contract or 3700 per share of SPX, we ended up only paying $20 per contract or $2,000 per contract, and we were able to ride these contracts up from $20 up to our first target. So because we were up about 30% on our options, we recommended to everybody on the live trading team to take some off around the $27. They were up about $5 to $6 to even $7 off their entry. So usually that is a home run for us. So, but because I was a little bit too confident on this trade, I only took off about 30%, and I let everybody know that as well. So because I took a very small amount of it off, there was a point where I almost got caught, right? So I could have gave this 7-point run away if I would have just held it, and it wouldn't have gone back up and continued. So as you can see on this big giant 1 minute green candle here on these options were getting killed as well at one point. So let me show you guys on the ES chart here, when we went through this pullback here where it went all the way back down to 37.10, these options almost gave all of the profit away, but then it ended up turning around and pushing back up because it was news. It was a news piece, but we ended up taking some profit there on these options, right? All the way up around $34 and $36. But this is the whole point of trading options, that you're able to get these big moves, right, very quickly. You're not trying to hold these options till expiry because they're gonna kill you on the time. So what you do is you get in really quickly, you leverage them for 5 to 10 minutes, and you take a quick profit, 10, 20, 30%, and then you walk away. Because look, these options could went up to $40, but then look, right, just as fast as they went up, they came all the way back down to the lows. And if you're not careful, you could be easily stuck in that whole move up and a whole move down. So what you need to do is, right, personally, for our trading experience, we usually go in really quickly on these options, right, on these moves, and then get out really quickly, because that's what trading is about, right? Also, you never want to be too attached to your position, because that can also harm you a lot, because these options do go to zero. So that means you could lose 100% of your account in just one day. So as you can see here, Tesla this morning, right, we were bullish on almost everything, guys. Everything in pre-market we said was going to be a ripper day, right? But Tesla was the only one that we said that there's a chance it could end up cracking the lows and selling off, and it could have a little bit of momentum. So the proper entry on Tesla was the 208, but we actually ended up entering right below 207, around 207 and 206.50. So in this little range right here is where we entered, and then we actually had to go through all of this rip candle, like a 3-point push candle, which was about $1.50 down on these contracts, and that's usually our home run day, right? So we actually almost started off with a huge red, right? $1.50 red on contracts, right? For me, it was around 40-50K there, and then but once we saw the rejection of the 200 EMA and we saw the rejection of the 50 EMA, we were able to stay in, all right, because we've been doing this for a while and we've seen Tesla do this many times, and that's fine, but it still pays us. So as you can see, it came back down, it broke our level, and then it continued down to our target of 205 all the way down to 204. And because we had gone through that such a massive push-up candle against us, we actually ended up taking basically almost all of it off around the 204 203 level. So nobody actually went through pain holding any runners when Tesla started going against them. And then of course we were bullish on the market, right? When the market was going sideways, I was like, market's gonna rip, and that's why it was like weird that Tesla was moving against it. So it worked out that we kind of took all of our position off of Tesla and then started focusing on the market. And see, like, a lot of things have to go right in order for you to make money every day trading. So understand the rules and the discipline that you have to follow every day, right? Remember, somebody said that put all your eggs in one basket and then go get more eggs. And that's all what trading is about. It's about getting better 1% a day, right? So if you have a very, very bad strategy in trading and you're losing money every day, guess what? All you have to do is do the opposite of it, or just improve that strategy 1% at a time every single day. Guess what? By end of the year, you'll be 250% better than where you started with. So see you guys in the chat if you guys trying to learn or work with the community. Link is going to be in the description below. See you guys in there. Let's work together and make money.